Welcome back, everyone. This is the Game One Loves Forever, the golf podcast. And as you can see, this week I'm going solo on the pod. We're going to try this out and see, how it goes, essentially. So, the first thing that I wanted to get into was it is Masters Week. It's one of the, I would say, I think it's everybody's favorite tournament. That, it starts off I guess you could say player starts off it starts the major season, right? So this is the first one that really gets everyone's attention, really gets everyone going in the golf season. So I just kind of want to go over a little couple things that I get excited for, and just kind of the odd things or the things we look forward to when it comes to the Masters. So first thing first is the 2025 Masters odds on who's favorite. If the funny thing with odds on favorites for the golf or for golf in general is even for instance, Scheffler's number one, and he is still a plus. I don't know, depends where you look, but he's a plus 350, plus 450. And that's the crazy thing is that golf is so hard that even the first place player or the number one person in the world, player in the world, they still are a plus, right? So if you bet $100, now I'm not condoning betting, but if you were to bet $100, you'd win 450 or 350, and that's how hard it is to pick the winner, right? So even Rory, if you go down the list, Scheffler, was the 350, 450. Rory's looking at anywhere from 550 to 650. Oberg, I think that's how you say it. Oberg is anywhere from the 1400 plus 1400 plus 1500. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I think he was second last year. So he, being second last year, and he's still, you bet $100, you win $1,500. So that's just, it's just mind boggling to me, because golf, no matter who you pick, it's like, oh, your odds are, 1 in 60. Well, I guess there's only 80 players starting, but it's really hard to pick. So I'm just going to keep going down the list and kind of see what you guys think about, where they're putting the odds right now. So like I said, Ludwig Oberg is 1415. John Rahm is 1500. Colin Morikawa is plus 1700. Bryson 1900 and 1800. I mean, he's just coming off a majors win last year, and he's still, you not even close to being the odds on favorite. So, Xander Schauffele, he is 2100. Or I found another place. I mean, I kind of looked at different betting sites, or just, on the internet. And I mean, there was one who had him plus 1,000. And there's one who had him like plus 2,500. So I guess it depends who you want to bet with, or I guess if you want to bet with your friends, not on any betting websites. And then Justin Thomas was plus 2,100. I mean, that's just crazy. And then the other one I looked up was Minwoo Lee, just because he coming off a win, his first win on the PGA Tour last week. Or this time it would be 2 weeks ago, and he's plus 5,000. So if you're, really taking a swing on someone, I mean, it's someone who's hot, you could take Minwoo Lee. Brooks is plus 2,200 as well. I mean, I had to look down the list to even find him. So, and he's usually always in the running in the Masters. For some reason, he just plays really well at Augusta. So, I would say, I mean, Scheffler won last year. He won, I think, 2023. So he's won the last 2 out of 3. I mean, that's probably pretty good bet, at least if you're trying to play the odds, right? But my personal pick is, if I was to pick one just to win, not betting or anything, but my guy that I'm rooting for that I think is going to do well is Ludwig Oberg. The only reason why I think that is because I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago, but anyway, his first time playing, he got second place. And I just think if someone who, does that well when they first start out, or, first time at the Masters, one, they're handling the pressure, 2, they're handling just the hardness of the course, right? The difficulty of the course. And he comes in second place. I mean, that's a pretty good run. So I would, I always like to pick 3 guys at the beginning and then root for them throughout the week, right? See how I do. So I would, number 1 is Oberg. Number 2, I would say Rory, only because Rory, lately he's been on a run too. So he's kind of been a hot player, but just for some reason, he just kind of, I don't know, just, kind of, the last few Masters, I think he's fallen off or, just not done well. Right. And then of course, last year's, US Open, he just missed that last putt, which was unfortunate, but he's won twice, I think already this year. So I would say he's the hot player coming in. So that would be my second pick. And, I mean, again, Brooks just does well. I mean, I'd have to go with Brooks because I just feel like he's always in the top 5 every year, no matter where he's coming off of, in the live. If he's not playing well, if he is playing well, he's just, for some reason, he does well on that course. I think everyone looks forward to Augusta every year. Everyone, the course, you play it every year and you have the rhythm down, right? It's not like the other majors where they switch courses. It's different styles. It's Augusta every year. So I think guys like that one. And then 2, if you play well and your confidence is there, then you're just gonna you're gonna end up being in the top. You'll be fighting for it in the final day, right? So yeah, those would be my 3 guys. I mean, let me know who you think is. I know everyone's probably gonna bet Scheffler, and I don't doubt you for that. So, or I don't fault you for it. It's because, I mean, if I actually put my money where my mouth is, I would just trust Scheffler to take me home for that one. So, the other cool thing that I like and I would be really interested in would be the Masters dinner, right? So after every winner, so last year's winner hosts this year's Champions Dinner, right? So, and I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not really sure. But I did see that they just posted Scotty Scheffler's dinner menu. So I'll just kind of go over that shortly with you guys. It kind of looks like, and I'm pretty sure it's the same one as last year. The thing I read said it almost probably looks verbatim from last time. So for appetizers, he has cheeseburger sliders, and he has it Scotty style. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that's just something they probably do at their cookouts or anytime they do their cheeseburgers. Firecracker shrimp sounds pretty good. I'm assuming that's probably like deep fried shrimp that are, kind of like popcorn chicken. And then Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites. That one I like. That one's pretty funny because Papa Chef, I'm assuming Chef is like Scheffler, right? So it's probably his dad. I'm assuming dad or grandpa probably had their recipe, so he's sharing that with everyone. That's an interesting fact. I wonder if they teach. So does he have to bring like their secret menu or their secret ingredients to the Masters clubhouse cooking staff and teach them how to make it? That's kind of a interesting thought. I never, usually you just pick something or whatever you like, right? What style of food you like, and they probably just make it. But if it's coming with Papa Chef meatballs, and ravioli bites, then it's probably got to be pretty specific. So that's just the appetizers. First meal, I guess, our first course is the Texas style chili. I feel like it's pretty straightforward. It sounds kind of good. Everything's pretty hearty on this so far. His main courses are wood-fired cowboy ribeye. That'd be good. Or the blackened redfish, because I'm assuming not everyone wants to eat red meat, but that's probably why they put the fish in there. But the blackened redfish sounds good too. So, and then dessert, a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie. Yeah, I mean, all pretty good choices there. So I did look at some other people because I was wondering, I was like, I thought about it and I said, what if I was to choose a dinner, right, for the Masters? So, but I looked back, is it, is this the way to go? Is the way Shuffler did it, like, 3 appetizers, your first course, your main course, and then a dessert? So could you, as a master champion, choose anything, right? So I kind of even looked back at other winners. Like, for instance, I think John Rahm did a lot of Spanish stuff, a lot of tapas, which was cool. So his menu was really like more of the appetizer heavy side, and then further down it was just a main course. I think was like more pasta-ish, right? So it was kind of cool to see that. And then who was the other? Matsuyama. He was sushi or sashimi, and that was kind of cool to see. And then I think even like Tiger, after he won in 2019, he did the 2020 dinner, and he did the Masters sushi roll, which I don't know if that's part of their menu, or if they took advice from Tiger, and he just calls it the Masters sushi roll, right? So, because it had a lot of stuff in it. It almost looked like a everything roll. Kind of looked at it, but so, with that being said, I, kind of wanted to, what would I do as a Masters champion, right? I mean, obviously I'm never going to be a Masters champion, but I just thought it was kind of cool idea to, pick what I would want to have for dinner. Because I mean, it's a crazy thing when you're like, oh, pick anything. And then you're just like, I'm not sure. So if I was to, and I'm gonna kind of follow Scotty Scheffler's, his style, meaning like 3 appetizers, first course. I'll just follow his menu style, right? So for appetizers, I would start with grilled shrimp skewers. I don't know, that just kind of came to me, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of good. Like the just grilled shrimp, but on skewer, and then you can put some sauce on it, whatever kind of sauces you like. I'd probably have, the sauce on the side so everybody could pick whatever they wanted. Stuffed quesadilla bites. Kind of got that from Scheffler's thing, the bites thing. I just saw something on the other day on I don't know, Instagram, TikTok, and it was, this guy made like small little quesadillas, but then chopped them into 3 pieces. So they were kind of like, and then deep fry them. So then they kind of puffed up, and then they were quesadilla bites essentially, and they looked delicious. So that just popped in my head. So I'm like, I would do that. And then the one kind of like specialty dish that I've had before is grilled octopus. And, before I had it, I would have never even thought of it, and I would have never even had it on my menu. And I just thought it was something cool that, might either some people would really love, or some people might not go for it. Cause I get it. It's tentacles. It's kind of chewy, but if it's done right, it's super, super, super good. And so I would have that as kind of the apps going on to start. And then my first course, you can't go wrong with Caesar salad. I don't know if salads are allowed for your first course, or even that is a first course. But I would do Caesar salad and or clam chowder if you can't do a salad. So, who doesn't like a Caesar salad? And I know there's some people out there. And then on the other side too, I guess not everybody likes clam chowder, but that's the first courses I would start with, and kind of give those options to people. The main course is, I got to go with my guy, Scotty, on this one. I do a ribeye steak, pretty much medium rare. Ribeye steaks are my favorite. So that's always my go-to. Anytime I can either pick one, or I'm at the butcher shop, really anytime I can pick a steak, I pick ribeye. Sometimes I like to go, and explore, and I think I want a petite filet, or I want, a nice sirloin or something. And it's just, or definitely New York steak I've tried multiple times, and it just hasn't worked out for me. I know this is a golf podcast, but as far as steaks, you just got to go with the ribeye, right? So, and then of course for the fish, I do a grilled red snapper, which is really good. I've had that down in Mexico. Wood fire grilled, it's just melts off. I'd probably pick both to come to my table if I was the master champion, right? And I doubt they would say no if I wanted both, or I hope they wouldn't anyway. So And then finally for dessert, tiramisu. I think for the most part, I think everyone loves tiramisu. And if they don't, then I don't know, we could do ice cream on the side if people want ice cream, And I'm sure like a lot of these golfers, if dinner's on a Wednesday, it's probably on a Tuesday. I'll have to double check. If it's on a Tuesday, then I'm definitely eating everything, right? And getting warmed up for the par 3 course, and then, or if I've been playing in it. But if I'm not playing in the tournament and I'm an older champion, I'm still eating on Tuesday or Wednesday. But if the dinner was on a Wednesday, then I probably would lay back a little bit and just have a little bit of each, but not go in all, because if you ask people who know me, I eat until the food is gone. Right. So I don't hold back. And as you can probably assume, if you brought all those to me, I'm eating everything, whether I'm full or not. So, yeah. So on the dessert side, I'm a sugar person too. So I would definitely, even if I'm full, I finish tiramisu or dessert in general. I don't know what it is, but I save room for whatever reason. Right. So yeah, so that's kind of what my dinner would look like. I mean, if you guys want to comment or let me know what you think your dinner would look like, let me know. All right. So the next thing that I saw or I wanted to talk about was if you or I, let's say even me, I'm a 10 handicap, technically a 9.7, whatever, but I don't know why they do the points, 9.7. And if you were to start the Masters putting from the furthest point, or even if not putting, like let's say you start 100 yards out every hole, I don't think I could win. Let's just start with if you start on the putting green, right? You start putting and you try to, I don't know, the winner, what was Scotty last year? Like 11 under. I mean, I don't think I would be 11 under after 4 rounds starting on the green at the furthest point. Because one, I usually don't have much touch, but two, I mean, the speeds of those things and the undulations and just, just, you'd have to learn how to play the course, right? No, let alone the putting surface. So yeah, I have to say, I would like to think I would shoot par, but that may not even happen. Maybe I've been a couple bogeys and 4 putts and I guess 5 putts on the par 5. So maybe on the par 5s, I mean, you would think that you'd have to get semi close, right? So, but I just thought that was a funny little instance. And then if you go back to the 100 yard shot or whatever you're comfortable with, let's say you were dialed in at 110 or 120, whatever your number is, right? And they let you hit that club every time and that yardage every time, do you think you could win the tournament? And again, I mean, I used to be, my favorite number was like 125, 130, pitching wedge and just nice and smooth right there. And I think the way I'm playing right now, the way I'm hitting my wedges or irons right now, I'm a little lost out there. I've been chunking some stuff out there. So I was actually, before this, recording this, I was actually working on my irons and playing a little par 3 course, as you can see behind me. Player is +3 after 9 on the 10th hole. So yeah, my iron game right now is something to be desired. Let's just say that. And my chipping, I mean, if you've watched the podcast or listened, I mean, that my chipping is non-existent. So, and if it does come for a round, I get pretty confident. And then, you hit that one last shot, or not one last shot, but you hit that one shot that you blade or you just skull across the green and you're like, nope, not using that ever again, and just going to the putter. So, and even going to the putter, sometimes I still don't get the speed or the touch, but I'm always like, well, that's probably closer than anything I would have done. So, yeah, getting back to, hitting that being confident, right, in that 120-yard shot, I'd probably pick 120. I just feel like that's, or maybe 80, because then my 58 degree, would be right on. So, because I think a nice, easy, full swing of the 58 degree, it would be perfect. Again, it'd just be like, spin factor, and I'm sure everything there just grabs and just spins back. So, yeah, again, it would be fun to do. It's kind of like playing the red tees, right? So it would be fun. Probably frustrating by the end, because you realize, like, holy crap, how good these guys are, that they're shooting 11 under from 7,200 or whatever the tips are playing from, and you can't even break par from 100 yards in every hole. So that'd be humbling. But you know what? Golf is humbling every day. I mean, I've gone, I don't know if I've said this before, but I've gone, 74 one day, and then I've gone, I think it was like 92 the next day. Two different courses, but still, when you feel pretty confident, and then go back to, every time I shoot a good score somewhere else, and I go back to Empire Ranch, which is my home course, and I'm just like, okay, now I've got it. I've got it dialed in. My driver's good. It's, my irons are decent. And then and if my irons are decent, then I don't need my wedges. I don't need chipping. So, and then I just go and play Empire for some reason. And it's hard. For me, it's a hard course, only because it's like, you have to play your spots. Because I was trying to break it down. I'm like, why is Empire Ranch so difficult for me, or just in general, right? I would say, now looking back, and I kind of analyzed it, I would say that there's a lot of, lost balls, or you hit your ball into some like deeper rough, kind of roughage stuff. And you're like, oh, it's right over there. And then once you walk over there, it's like, you're not finding your ball unless you step on it. Like, it's that kind of deep grass, like clovers, right? So, but deep. So you just have to hit your spots, and just kind of, because some guys I know, like in the men's league, like they shoot their best scores at Empire because they know they're hitting a driver, and then 7-iron, and then the next hole that you probably shouldn't hit a driver, they're hitting a 7-iron, so, and then putting for birdie, where I'm like driver 58 degree, and then if the driver is lucky enough to stay in because I've hit too far on that hole, whatever. So, but I still love it. That's the course I'm trying to conquer. As you guys know, I'm trying to break 80 10 times this year, which kind of brings me to my next point, and kind of following up to, where I am this year in and kind of why I wanted to do a solo pod, was kind of follow up with everybody, or let everybody know where I am in my quest for 10 scores in the 80 or in the 70s. And I've done it once so far, which was good. It was back in January. So now it's March, April. And yeah, it was a really good, 76. I was, it wasn't anything spectacular, which is kind of funny that you think, or at least I think, when I'm shooting 76, I'm like, oh, birdie. Oh, I'm just dialed. I'm, putting everything close. And honestly, it was Ansel Hoffman, and the front nine was kind of clunking around. I was, I still sliced a couple, but then my balls would, the balls would bounce off the trees, and I would just got lucky and then kick it back in the fairway. Like one time, I saw it like slice right a little bit, and it was coming off, and then it went to the trees. But then I either saw it or heard it, and then I see the little, in the far distance, like a little ball like rolling back into the fairway. So definitely got lucky a few times. And so the front nine, I shot a 40, which is 4 over. And I was like, okay, I'm playing decent. I've saved shots. I got lucky. Nothing to be desired, and I really didn't think anything of the round, honestly. I was just out there for buddies. I think it was for a bachelor, which if you're asking what a bachelor is, I had no idea until that day. But apparently a bachelor party is when one of our buddies, or one of the guys, he's going to be a dad for the first time, and he's going to no longer be able to golf. So I really like that because, um, and he will still be able to golf, but I liked kind of his last hurrah on the golf course. So I thought that was a pretty funny idea. And we all wore t-shirts and everything. But anyway, getting back to the round, I finished the 9, nothing spectacular, but 4 over, and I was just like, okay, I'll probably, shoot my usual 83, 83, 84. That's my number. That's just for some reason, that's what I come in with. But, going into the back 9. So you start the back 9 with a par 5. And what's funny about this round, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shoot okay, right? Or whatever I normally shoot, nothing spectacular. Well, my first drive, I think I kind of sliced it over into the trees, but not enough to where they're in my way. So, and it's kind of like a little dogleg left up the hill. And if you played Ansel before here in the Sacramento area, you know what I'm talking about. It's number 10, the par 5. And so it's a little off to the right, and I could just hit it back into the fairway, and then hit up like I should have done. But instead, I'm like, oh, I can get over the trees with 7-iron, and then I'll probably be like 100 yards out or less. So I'm like, okay, I get over, and I swing, hit, nope, boom, right into the tree. Literally, maybe, I don't know, 30 yards so it hits a tree, kicks back, maybe 30 yards in front of me. So I'm like, okay, well, now I kind of have to go for it, right? Or at least that's the hero mentality. You're like, okay, well, now I'm down 2 shots. I should have done the smart thing the first time. So now instead of actually doing the smart thing again this time, I'm like, oh no, now I need to double up and really go for it. that's the golfer's mentality, right? I think that's the mid handicap mentality. And so the next shot, oh yeah, so now I'm trying to go through the trees. I don't have a clear shot like I did last time. And I'm really going to have to like either power through, either power under, or just kind of go over. Well, I decided to go over, but again, with like a 50 degree, one of my wedges, right? So I hit, and I ricochet again. Hit straight into the tree, but luckily it ricochets into the fairway. So I'm like, okay, well, I can, and of course we always think the best shot possible, right? Like, okay, well, I could put it close, hopefully make par, if not worst bogey. I'm like, all right, cool, 2-putt bogey. And going back, if you've listened to Will, I had Will Harvey on a while back, and he kind of told us about the 3/4, I don't know if it's like a slap shot, but 3/4, like not a 3/4 knockdown shot. That's what it was. So he kind of told us about the 3/4 knockdown, right? And I was remembering that because this was in January, obviously. So I had just come off of the interview with him, and thinking about, okay, I just want to be good with my irons right now because my driver's not. So I need to be close, or I need to be better with them. And I just remember that 3/4 knockdown shot, and essentially I'm like, okay, so I don't remember what the yardage was, maybe 150, I don't remember, maybe 125, but anyway, I started, thought about that 3/4 knockdown, just get it, and I just hit it with that thought in mind, and literally probably, I don't know, it probably almost went in. It was probably like this close, like it was 5-6 inches, tap in par. And then from that moment, I don't know what it was, but something clicked as far as my irons. So then I started playing safe too, where since my driver wasn't really working, because there's a lot of dogleg lefts or dogleg rights. And if you hit driver, you're going to go too far if you can't shape them. And at that point, I had no control. So anyway, getting back to the next hole, I just hit 3-wood, something nice and easy. That way wasn't, if you played Ansel, it's a dogleg left on that one. So if you go too far, you're in the trees and the shit, and your next shot is just non-existent, right? So I hit it short, perfect. Again, 3/4 knockdown, put it, on the green, and um, and I think it just tapped up close, 2-putt there. And then not to get, in the weeds of the round, but after that, just every shot with any wedge or iron was just either on the green or just dialed for yardage. Sometimes there's a couple hard pin placements, and I just said center of green on all 2-putt, and that kind of worked out for me. So I did birdie again. I put another one, I don't know, maybe 4 feet. Put that one in for birdie, and then I missed a bunch of other birdie putts, but I parred them, and then I bogeyed the par 3. And then I parred the last par 5, and yeah, it was a pretty cool little 9 holes where it's an awesome feeling. I don't know, I felt that in a while, where just everything clicks, whether or not, as long as I put myself in a position in the fairway and a good look at the pin or at the green. I mean, I put it on every time. It was kind of cool. And I haven't felt that since, but because that's, and then I finished with a 36 on the back, and yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, and the funny thing is, other guys around us, they were kind of, I don't know if you've ever heard of the game, like where you can take a shot, right? We've kind of played this before, beer chug challenge, where if you want a mulligan, you have to you have to chug a beer or take a shot. Or you've also done reverse mulligans, where you can take a shot. So I can take a shot. Let's say my buddy hit a great shot, and I'm like, nope, you got to hit that again. And so I have to take a shot or chug a beer, and then he has to hit it again. And so some of those guys were doing that out there, and some of their rounds were kind of, they're, I hit a great shot, but then because of the recall, he's like, I had another one, and of course I'm not gonna hit that great. Luckily, the guys in my group, none of us are drinking, so we kind of got away from that. So I totally forgot about the mulligans, and so I played that round, mulligan free. I mean, even if I took mulligans, I wouldn't have counted it, but because it was, just a for fun round. But yeah, because they were like, "Oh, did you take any mulligans?" I was like, "Oh no, I didn't," because I forgot that we were playing that game because none of us were drinking in our group. So yeah, I hope to feel that again. I've kind of recently, I'm still trying to think of that 3/4 knockdown, right? And man, it's almost like I'm chunking a little bit now. All my shots get a little chunky, and then just not as crisp as it was before, but still having fun now. But now my driver's dialed, like literally I point and aim, and it goes there, whether it swings fast, swings slow. I'm pretty dialed in right now with my driver, which I like. And I would say, even if my irons, if everything else doesn't work and my driver's working, it's still a fun round, I feel like, anyway. So yeah, so that was kind of just a recap really about my 76. I shout out to Will. Will, thank you for that one. If you watch or listening, I'll probably have to send you this because I know you don't have Instagram. So yeah, it was really cool, cool to use what he showed me, right? And it worked. It worked. And it was consistent. I think now it's just, for some reason, maybe I was swinging too hard, or I don't know, taking huge divots now, which is good if you hit the ball first, but if you don't, you're chunking it. So that's the difference now, is like, I'm still hitting it every once in a while, good, good contact, but it's just inconsistent. Where that day, back in that day when I shot 76, I mean, just everything, I was swinging and just everything was pure. I love when you hit a ball and it's just, you don't feel the ball, right? That's just the best feeling. I saw something the other day, maybe it was today, I don't know. It's like, what's the best feeling in the world? And it's like a wife asking their husband or whatever, and he's like, when you pure a 7-iron and you don't even feel the ball and it lands a foot from the hole. He's like, there's no better feeling. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Just don't tell our wives that. That's what we choose to say. Maybe say something else when she asks you, right? When your buddies ask you, that's fine. But when your wife's asking you, you might want to say something different. So All right. All right. And then so the next thing, as far as my like resolutions, right? I mean, I I put practice on there. And really, unfortunately, I have not practiced at all. I mean, it has been a little rainy, but I've played I played enough to where I've probably had time to practice. And actually I'm probably going to, today hit some irons here. I know it's not, grass, but you can at least you can feel it. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if when I chunk a shot even on a mat or even on, turf, I know when it's chunked, even though it was a good shot or turned out good, or the simulator says, "Oh, it's still perfect shot." I can kind of feel the fatness sometimes. But yeah, I'm gonna get some work in. My putting has actually been pretty decent. So I think my resolutions were practice putting and just practice in general, and I haven't done any of it. But I mean, true resolutions. But I just think I don't know. It's just not right. It's just not as fun to practice. But I think I do need to work on the chipping. 30 yards in of working different clubs, with the 58, with the 50, 54. So I play with a 58, 54, 50. I don't know if I ever said that, but I kind of moved back off of the 60. And then my pitching wedge, I think, is a 48 degrees. So it kind of, or 44, I'm sorry. So it kind of works out with my gaps. But I know typically pitching wedges are like 48 degrees, I think. Maybe that's why I can hit it further. I don't know. But uh, yeah, I haven't practiced. So do I think it will help? Probably. It'll just help me be more confident. If in one way or another, at least if I am practicing once a week or every other week, you kind of have a feel where you're going in. Like for instance, like, I'm playing more, so I'm hitting my driver. And I know that feeling now. I know the setup, I know the routine, I know the swing thought. And yeah, I think if I took a step away, or if I took, a week off or whatever, a week off. If I took like a month or so off, which isn't going to happen because I got a lot of golf lined up, but if I was to take a month off, I think I would, I'd have to relearn it or think about, oh, where was I again? Because right now it's just so natural. And I love that. I love that part when it's just, there's one swing thought and it just makes it easy. Right. So yeah, so I don't know if practicing is still in my future, but that's still one of my goals. I need to, at least practice putting. Yeah. It's just tough. I mean, I when I get out and practice, or anytime I'm thinking about, oh, I need to practice on Friday after work or Thursday after work, I'm like, but now it's getting late at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and now you could probably get in at least 9 holes, maybe 11. Uh, so yeah, so so I'm 1 of 10 for one and 0 of 100 on the other. Because I think, or at least practice once a week, so it's 52 weeks. Yeah, I'm way behind. So hopefully I can catch up here and break some, because getting back to breaking 80, right? I've been close a few times, and I think it's close. And let me know what you guys think. So I've shot 83 quite a bit and just shot at 88 the other day, but at least for the 84s, 83s, like I think I'm close. And Andrew, who was here on the podcast a few weeks ago, I said, "Oh, I'm close," and he was like, "That's 5 strokes," because I shot 84 that day, and he's like, "That's 5 strokes. That's not close." But I mean, maybe for someone who's, and not to say that Andrew isn't good, but he's I don't know, was he a 15, 16 handicap, and to go from a 16 to a 10 is hard, and then go from a 10 where I am to a 5 is really hard. So maybe he's right. Maybe he's right in that instance, saying that, you know, 5 strokes, 84 to a 79 is not that close. But I do think, and the reason why I think that, or maybe just it's round and round, right? Because if I'm like struggling all day and I'm like, whew, if I saved that 84, then yeah, I get it. I'm like, I wasn't even close because it just wasn't going to happen that day. But for that day, I was close because I tripled a let's see. Yeah, I tripled a par three. So I got a six on a par three. And the reason I got a six wasn't because OB or anything. It was literally I bladed three times across the green. I didn't even get I think I one putted that. So that's the funny thing. Is so that's why I was okay. Well, normally that's an easy par, par three. So I would have gotten, let's say worst case four. All right. So there's two strokes. Then I the next one, I think I doubled it. So right there, there's five strokes right there. And not to say that if I would have parred it, or I usually do par it or whatever, just not to say it's an easy hole. But I just think that, if that day I had five strokes right there, right? So cut those down. And then maybe on the other holes, I was a little bit closer, or maybe I was like, I missed a birdie putt or a tap in or something like that, right? So I just felt like that day there were two holes specifically that, I I could have easily scored and brought the score down and maybe broke 80. And he did not think so. So, and I respect that. And and I thought about it and I'm like, okay, maybe. And I thought it was a cool, topic to bring on. So let me know what you guys think if, shooting 84 and I'm a 10 handicap, if I'm close or if I'm dreaming, So, and then of course I've shot, 83, 84 quite a bit. I feel like my number is 83 and that's just kind of my, I was sitting at 7 over for almost like 15 holes the other day. And I finished with a 84 again, I think. And that one, I just, I was like, I didn't think I was close, but I was like, I just gave away. I got tired and kind of a long day. I think it was after, I don't know if it was before or after work, but it was just, I got tired, to be honest. So I just didn't do it. And then the 88 was just a bad day. Just didn't focus. But getting back to my other resolution would be walking courses. Well, I haven't walked one yet. and I do have a push cart now, so that's the good news. I'm halfway there. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe next time I play on a weekend or something, I'll walk. But I definitely think that will help in my conditioning. And cause I get tired around, like, I'm great. Like I said, I was 7 over going into like 15 holes. And then I just get tired or something happens or I lose one hole and I'm out. Right. And then my confidence is down. My thought process is down. Or then I start feeling that I'm tired and, want to go home, or not want to go home, but just like, okay, I'm 15 holes. I'm tired. But so I think walking would help condition me for that, because I don't remember, granted I was in high school, so it was like I could handle a lot more, but I don't remember being that tired, like carrying my bag, walking the course, and kind of having that. But again, I was, a lot younger and can't really compare. So, I mean, I could run up and down a basketball court back then too. So shouldn't really compare. But I do think that if I start walking courses, I think it'll help me to condition for sure. So I'll let you know about that one, because I know most of you are still going to, like Andrew, when he was here, he's like, I'm probably still going to ride the carts, which I get. I mean, I understand. I get it, because it's easy. You got your drinks, you got, the bag, your phone. Cause with the other things, you got to worry about all those things, make sure you have them. But yeah, I'll hopefully by next time I do like a solo pod or maybe a guest who comes on, that we walk, or at least I walk, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'll let you know if my theory's right or wrong, or you guys can let me know. Let me know if you've noticed the difference between when you walk and you ride, or if you prefer to walk now. So just let me know. Let me know what you guys think. And so just to kind of wrap up, I mean, I'm ready for the Masters. I love it. Hopefully I can do a recap for you guys and just kind of give my thoughts on it. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it. I will say that Masters is probably the one that I always try to watch. I don't know if I know I recorded last year's. Maybe I'll go back and watch it just to remind myself. But I, I, it, like everyone I talk to right now, they're ready for the Masters. It's ready to go. So enjoy this week. Again, my picks are number one, Oberg, Rory, and Brooks. Yeah, that's who I don't know if I'm going to root for them because I like storylines and I like wherever the score goes or the court, whatever's happening that weekend, right? Let's say, for instance, if Tiger was playing and he's a plus 5,000, I'm always rooting for Tiger. Unfortunately, he got hurt. He's not in it. And, stuff like that. Maybe if, I don't know, Rory's in the hunt and and then Oberg is right there next to him, I'd probably root for Rory only because because he's, he needs to win it for his career or the career Grand Slam. And, I would love that, storyline. The storyline's great. Right. So, and then everything's been battling with Liv and he's the poster boy for the PGA, but they turned their back on him or just didn't tell him that they were trying to merge again. But yeah, I mean, so stuff like that. So I don't know, who else would I be? Bryson. Yeah, I mean, maybe if he was coming in the end. I just feel like he doesn't do well at the Masters. I think he just hits too far. He's got that kind of long drive issue. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I think, if he is there at the end, maybe I'll root for him. I don't know. I'll have to see. But definitely Oberg, Rory, and Brooks. Right? I think that's who I said. Yeah. Yeah. And then if Scheffler wins, I'm not mad at it. Back to back. I mean, who's, another storyline, right? So I'm rooting for it. So yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you get to watch them as much Masters as you can, because I'm going to try to, and, see who's going on moving day on Saturday and Sunday. And we'll watch who the champion is and who gets next green jacket. And then we'll be ready for, major season, right? So hopefully I can recap each one and you guys tune in and I can give my opinions and kind of what I saw or what I liked, and, we'll go from there. So again, if you, please like and subscribe and keep following, and just thank you to everyone. This is kind of it is my first Polo solo pod. So, just want to take my time and just say thank you to everybody who's been watching, who's been listening. It's been a blast and I love it. And, I can't wait, even though I'm by myself or I have to write episodes or, bringing on guests, finding guests, whatever, but I love it. It's just, I get excited every time I get to come out here and film and just talk golf, right? I mean, it's crazy that I'm talking to nobody right now, but who knows how many people are watching, So I love that aspect. And then I can always go back and, listen to my old podcasts and get some new ideas or come back to it, right? So anyway, I digress, but thank you to everybody. Please, anybody new, please subscribe, definitely subscribe for me. And thank you again to Chuck. Chuck was great, last or a couple weeks ago whenever he came out and he kind of gave the rundown, but thank you, Chuck. I will say, I forgot to say this in the beginning, but this would be my last, for now anyway, my last one to Gavin. Thank you, Gavin, for all you did for the whole podcast, getting it going, helping me, go through the growing pains of everything. Unfortunately, Gavin is no longer with the golf podcast, but he will be missed dearly. Don't worry, he's still here. He's still alive. Gavin is still on this earth. So sorry if that made sound weird, but he's just not, he had to do, some other things, and I get it. And, this takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time for all of us who are working on the podcast. So from now on, it's just going to be your boy riding solo for now. I mean, I still have guests on, but at least as far as the production and everything, it's just going to be me. So, but again, thank you, Gavin, if you're watching this, and just everybody out there know that Gavin was a big part of the golf podcast and getting it going. And if you ever wants, everyone's come back, there's always a spot on the golf podcast forum. So maybe down the road we'll have them on. But just thank you again, and just thank you for everyone who's watching. All right, I probably rambled on for thank you. But all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.